After years of waiting, the Ryuga Gotoku series is finally back on Nintendo's family of consoles. After an underwhelming release of Ryuga Gotoku 1 and 2 HD remasters on the Wii U in Japan, Sega and RGG Studios have taken upon themselves to release Yakuza Kiwami on the Nintendo Switch. This coincides with the brand new Amazon Prime TV show based off the franchise. Since Kiwami's original release in 2016, the title has made its way to modern consoles and PC. With the dated hardware of the Nintendo Switch, how does this port stack up with the rest of Kiwami's releases? Let's find out. Before we start, let me say that I'm not reviewing the entire game. I'm reviewing Yakuza Kiwami's Nintendo Switch port and nothing more. I love this title, and it's a great addition to the Yakuza series as a modern remake of the iconic first Ryuga Gotoku franchise game. So sit back and relax, Kyodais. Let's talk RGG. While Yakuza Kiwami never really pushed any visual boundaries during its original release on PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4, one thing the game always had going for it was the beauty of Kamurocho. The bright lights of the city and the endless amount of people crowding the streets was always a sight to behold. Thankfully, the jump to Nintendo Switch has not compromised Kamurocho's look and feel. The city still looks good on the Switch's old hardware, especially in handheld mode. In addition, Kamurocho still feels alive with a ton of NPCs roaming the streets. Models, at least for the main cast, still look great, pre-rendered cutscenes are fairly high quality, and the menus are as crisp as ever as they render at native resolution. However, there are definitely problems with this title's visuals on Switch. You can definitely tell that Yakuza Kiwami isn't running at native resolution on docked or handheld mode here. While less noticeable in handheld mode, the game definitely has a soft and blurrier look to it compared to modern consoles and PC. There's also some noticeable aliasing in the world, especially on characters. Another visual problem with the Switch version concerns pop-in, which happens fairly often as you walk through the streets of Kamurocho. All in all, Yakuza Kiwami is a pretty decent looking game on the Nintendo Switch's hardware. You definitely won't be blown away by it in dock mode, as it's obvious the game doesn't look as polished as its other console counterparts, but it looks pretty good, especially during handheld play. Now here's the part that will probably interest most of you. How does Yakuza Kiwami's performance hold up on the Nintendo Switch? Unfortunately, the answer is not so great in my opinion. While I wasn't expecting the game to run at 60 FPS to begin with on the Switch's hardware, I'm sad to say that the title doesn't hold its targeted 30 FPS most of the time. And considering this game was developed with the power of the PlayStation 3 in mind, this is a bit of a disappointment. Indoor areas usually run at a locked 30 FPS for the most part, but the crowded streets of Kamurocho can make the frame rate drop into the mid-20s. This is very obvious when you're fighting numerous people when there is a bunch of NPCs behind you watching. The game also seems to hitch a lot in both handheld and dock mode with uneven frame pacing and stuttering. Don't get me wrong, the game is far from unplayable. Even on the PlayStation 3, the game had a rough time keeping up with a 30 FPS target with pretty blurry and aliased image. While the Switch isn't exactly the most powerful console on the market, it's still a bit of a disappointment that the game doesn't run better than it does. It's more comparable to the PS3 version than any other modern consoles. It's better experience on consoles and PC, and if you want a portable experience, the Steam Deck plays the entire game in almost a flawless 60 FPS. I really hope that these performance issues on Switch can be ironed out with a patch before its physical release later on. And if there's a native Switch 2 version in the future, maybe we'll finally see this game running at 60 FPS on the Nintendo console. It's obvious that the Nintendo Switch version of Yakuza Kiwami came way too late into the console's life cycle. I feel as though this port was rushed to meet the release of the Amazon Prime TV show. However, even with the visual downgrades and performance issues, I'm still glad RGG finally decided to do this release and give the franchise another shot in Nintendo's ecosystems of consoles. While it's definitely not the best way to play the game, for $20 it's still a good deal if you have no other way to play it. Even with all of its faults, Yakuza Kiwami is still a great game no matter where you play it, and I hope to see more RGG ports to Nintendo's next console. So that about wraps it up, guys. That is our review of Yakuza Kiwami on the Nintendo Switch. What do you guys think of the game? Are you planning on getting it on Switch? Leave a comment down below. Like the video if you found it informative. Dislike it if you didn't. And remember, we are the Kamurocho Bros. We do RGG content for all of our videos, so subscribe for more RGG content. We'll see you guys in the next video.